Welcome back. So I have up on the whiteboard two equations. Why are they equations? They both contain equal statements. Also, we know they're quadratic. Why are they quadratic? Their highest degree exponent is a 2. Now, the way you solve a quadratic equation is totally different than the way you solve a linear equation. The way we're learning to solve a quadratic equation in this video is by factoring. So there are 3 steps to accomplish this. You must follow these 3 steps. Step 1 is get all the terms on the left side. So if I look here, here's my wall. That's my left side, that's my right side. I have a term on the right side that needs to move to the left. We've learned this in Algebra 1. To move an x back and forth across the equals, you either add or subtract. So to move 4x, it's understood to be positive, so we would do the opposite of adding, we would subtract. From what we learned in Algebra 1 and 2 now, you can only add and subtract terms that are alike. Can you have an x squared and subtract from it a 4x? No, those terms are not alike. An x may be x-ray machines, and x squared can be xylophones. These are not like terms, so we must write them in the correct descending order. So the first term is x squared minus 4x equals. On the right side, 4x minus 4x would make 0x, which is 0. If you do not write the 0, you are wrong. You have to preserve that this is an equation. Anytime you have an equal sign, you must have terms on the left and terms on the right. So if you do not write the equal 0, you are mathematically incorrect. You've lost your equation. Now, if it's an equation, our job is to solve. Because it's quadratic, after we have all the terms on the left side, now we're supposed to use our factoring skills. Remember, we have GCF, difference of perfect squares, trinomial, and grouping. Those are our rules we're going to be working with. All right, so I'm going to ask you, what rule of factoring do we do it for x squared minus 4x? I bet you all said difference of perfect squares. That is so incorrect. I understand x squared is a perfect square. I understand 4 is a perfect square. But is the letter x a perfect square? No. So remember, we learn those rules in a specific order to use them. First rule of factoring is always what? That's right, GCF. What do these terms have in common I could divide them by? Very good. We could take out an x and tell me what's left. What is x squared divided by x? X. What is negative 4x divided by x? Negative 4 equals 0. So that's step 2. You factor. Now what happened is you just made magic. No longer do you have an x squared. If you look, this is x to the first power. This is x to the first power. And if your x's are to the first power, you now have linear equations. Because there are 2 x's, you will write 2 linear equations. Now, I know you all see the first one, because you'll take what's inside the parentheses, x minus 4, and set it equal to 0. Ladies and gentlemen, just because there isn't a parentheses around this x, this is the second equation. If you want to put parentheses, be my guest. X equals 0. When you factor, you're going to have 2 x's. You take both x's, you set them equal to 0. This is already solved. 0 is an answer. It's a solution. To solve this linear, we do the opposite of subtract 4, which is add 4, and we get our second solution, x equals 4. Every quadratic should have 2 solutions. Now, to check. This is easy to check mentally. So I'm going to start with 0. Check it. We go back to the original. What is 0 squared? 0. What is 4 times 0? 0. Does 0 equal 0? Yep. Checks. Let's check 4. What is 4 squared? 16. What is 4 times 4? 16. Does 16 equal 16? Yep, it checks. All right, we got one more. How do we know this equation's quadratic? Good. It has an x squared. Our first step is to do what? That's right. Get the equation equal to 0. Here is your wall. Move everybody on the right, all your terms on the right to the left. The only way to move an x back and forth in an equation is either add or subtract. So to move a positive 5x and add 5x, we subtract 5x. Now everybody look. Can you subtract 5x from x squared? No, those are not like terms. Can you subtract 5x from 6? No, those are not like terms. So when you write the left side, it must be in the correct descending order. So x squared would go first, then would go minus 5x, then would go plus 6, and it equals 0. Step 2, factor. Which rule of factoring? Let's go through it. Do we have a GCF? No. Is that difference of perfect squares? Nope, it doesn't have 2 terms. Is it a trinomial? Yes, it has 3 terms. We talked about this a long time ago. This is an easy trinomial because the leading coefficient's 1. So these we can do in our head. We put 2 sets of parentheses, and we think, what times itself is x squared? X times x. Then we go over to 6. What multiplies to 6? Well, the factors of 6 are 1 and 6 and 2 and 3. Who remembers how we decide? Very good, we read. We want to multiply to 6. We want to add to 5. Will 1 and 6 add to 5? No. Will 2 and 3 add to 5? Yes. How do we decide our signs? Adding means the signs have to be the same. Adding to a negative 5, they both have to be negative. Don't forget your equals 0. You've just made magic. Now you're not quadratic anymore, you're linear. How many x's do you see? 2. How many linear equations are you going to write me? 2. So you say x minus 2 equals 0. X minus 3 equals 0. Then you solve them. You do the opposite operation. So we add 2, do the opposite, we add 3, and we get our solutions. X equals 2, x equals 3. That's all there is to it. If you know how to factor, this is really simple. Okay, see you in the next module.